All right. I'm going to fuck y'all up with some shit on this one. All right. This is the Urbano Monte map from 1587. Excuse me. North Pole. No ice. No ice around any of these areas, okay? There's North America, South America, Africa, India, Russia, China. Okay, so very similar to this map. North America, South America, Africa, India, China, Russia. Okay? Only thing different, Australia. There is no Australia here because it hasn't been discovered yet. This is 1587. Australia wasn't discovered until 1606. So that's why that's not there. But my main question is, if this is a globe flattened out and this is on the bottom, right? What the fuck is this? There's no ice on it. And guess what? Antarctica hadn't been discovered yet. Antarctica was discovered in 1820. And if you look, oh look, there's an alligator. There's a camel. Warm weather animals. So, you want to explain to me, first thing, what the hell is this? All this land. And second thing, what froze them? What happened between 1587 and 1892 where those areas got frozen?
Peace to the gods and goddesses of planet Kai. Peace meaning positive energy, always creates elevation. Peace to the high vibrational human beings within the university. And peace to the ancestors for working through me. It's a pleasure to be back here again to communicate with you all. Whether it be from behind these walls or from the comforts of my home or from some remote island in the Caribbean somewhere like I used to do when I was free. It's always a blessing to be able to communicate with y'all. We back with another deep divine download. Also, we do not discriminate, as y'all already know. The university is open to everybody. So if you drink, pull that thing up. If you smoke, roll that thing up. I don't care if you black, white, blue, green, pink, tall, short, gay, straight, skinny, fat, rich, poor, Christian, Catholic, Muslim, or non-denominational, atheist, Crip, Blood, GDBD, whatever you may be. Come as you are in here. We only promote spiritual enlightenment, and it's a deep journey. And you have to have an open mind, and you have to have, you can't come in with any ego, because some of these truths, these esoteric truths, the metaphysical truths that we speak about within the university will shatter the ego. But with that being said, I miss you all. I always do. I'm hearing rumors from my team, people saying I'm not incarcerated. That's just crazy. Because you definitely can look me up. You can go to TDOC and put my name in, Rashad Jamal White, and I'm definitely gonna pop up. You'll see where I'm at. So, I don't really feed into the rumors and stuff like that, but it is a little heartbreaking to hear that sometimes, just being honest with y'all, because I feel like that affects the support. I feel like, if I'm somebody on the outside, for example, not to get off topic, but if I'm somebody on the outside and I support somebody, right, and I'm supporting this person, then I hear a rumor saying they're not incarcerated. That would make me look at them as a charlatan, look at them as a fake individual. I personally won't want to support them. So all I would like to ask for anybody that's believing that bullshit, man, please do your own research. Go to GDOC. You know what I'm saying? That'll help y'all out. Go to GDOC on Google. Type my name in. You'll see that I'm at Hayes Prison. If you call up the Hayes Prison, I'm pretty sure they'll let you know that I'm here. So, with that being said, man, to those who have supported myself, my family, who continue to support the University of Cosmic Intelligence, I appreciate you. The university it has no physical location. It is a spiritual, philosophical, and metaphysical institution which is located within you, the listener. So I'm just here to help you all remember who you are. The things that I speak upon is the ideologies and my thesis, because I am one of the original 23 scientists of the cosmos, the Messiah, the divine messenger sent back to this planet by the Most High. Feel free to believe all of it, or feel free to take it as bullshit and lies. It's up to you. You have free will. The number one rule of the cosmos is free will. So I will never violate that. A true spiritual guru will never violate that or infringe upon your free will. I seek nothing from you other than your own peace, divine love, and happiness. That's all I seek from you. This is a deep spiritual journey, but let the journey be fun. All right, so with that being said, before we roll into this deep divine download, it's imperative that you open it up with the right spiritual energy. So I want to send the deepest of insight to my elders, those 65 and older within the university. I appreciate you because without you, I couldn't be who I am today. Because although time is not real, but the soul is an ancient thing. We are ancient souls, and we take on these incarnations. So if you are an elder in my life in this lifetime, that simply means that you have been on this planet in this lifetime in your body longer than I've been on this planet in this lifetime in this body. So I say nothing but the deepest of insights to the elders. I appreciate you for spreading the message to your grandchildren, to your kids, to your co-workers, to your pastors, when you go to church. We just building. We're not destroying. The only thing that we're destroying in here is the lies and the misinformation and the disinformation. And we destroying the white supremacy. We destroying the hatred. We destroying the oppression. We don't even promote black supremacy in here. We don't support no form of supremacy other than divine love and peace. Ashe. To my peers, those in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, I'm sending the deepest of insight. I appreciate you. We are the bridge between the elders and the youth. I appreciate you for sharing this information with your grandparents, with your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your children. I appreciate that deeply. And last but not least, to the Blue Crystal babies, those 19, 18, and younger within the university, I'm sending the deepest insight to you. I appreciate you all you are the reason why my hashtag Rashad Jamal has over 1 billion views on TikTok. Because you all was always screen recording the information from the YouTube channels and sharing it back to TikTok. So I appreciate you and I love you deeply for that. And you'll never be underlooked. I don't underestimate you. I don't limit you to a group of individuals or look down upon you because you are quote unquote a little younger than me in this lifetime. I know many of you are ancient souls that are returning to this planet to help us in this spiritual war because we are an end game. So with that being said, I just want to give my respect, my peace to all three different eras, right? Elders, the peers, and the youth. I'm all about unity, so this university has always been based around uniting the three, the elders, the peers, and the youth. We do not promote division, for Zeus, aka Satan, has conquered our planet and has ripped apart the cosmos through the spread of hatred, through the spread of fear, through the spread of division, and through the spread of deception. And we will heal it with divine love, peace, truth, and unity. Ashe, 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 ashe. So with that being said, may the ancestors allow that will to be done through me. All right, so we back today. We're talking about Operation High Jump. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Operation High Jump, but in case you're not familiar with Operation High Jump, we're going to discuss what they have told us about Operation High Jump thus far. All right, so based upon what they said about Operation High Jump, if you was to look up any YouTube article, videos, or read any Google articles or Wikipedia, Operation High Jump is an operation that took place in the 1940s, and it was led by Admiral Byrd. I went with Operation High Jump because I was always, I used to watch these things on the History Channel. I always watched a lot of the History Channel when I was growing up. History Channel, Animal Planet, Discovery Channel. Because I like to hear the lies. I like to hear what they're lying about. You know what I'm saying? And I like to decipher and decode the lies. So based upon what they teach us via Wikipedia, Operation High Jump is it was an operation led by Admiral Byrd. And the story goes that the government was they didn't know what was going on in Antarctica. As you know, Antarctica is labeled as a continent. Okay, I repeat, Antarctica is labeled as a continent, along with America, South America, Canada, Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia. So they say that they didn't know what was going on in Antarctica. and then no one had ever truly been to Antarctica. So they basically was trying to put together an expedition where I think they put together a thousand men, and they had boats and planes, and they went to Antarctica to check out Antarctica to see what was going on. When they got to Antarctica, they said they found lakes and mountain ranges and things of that nature, but everything was basically frozen cold, right? Everything was frozen. There was a lot of area, a lot of landmass to cover, but for the most part, let them tell it was really nothing there. But they only stayed there 3 months. I repeat, they sent 1,000 people to Alaska. Not Alaska. Sorry for that. Antarctica. Right? It's easy to get the two confused. But Antarctica. And they say it was nothing there. It was just desolate lands, desolate frozen lands. And it was called Operation High Jump because they was trying to get over the ice wall. Once you get out the Antarctica, you know, there's these huge ice walls that maybe stand 200-300 feet high above the water. And they were trying to get over the ice wall to get to the other side and really explore Antarctica. On the way the story goes, they never really got to do that. They stayed out there 3 months, and in them 3 months, a lot of people died. More people died than they even, you know, tell you about in the actual story that they give to the public. And that's pretty much that. You know, they say that the Council of Foreign Relations was created, which is the council which covers, you know, a plethora, a host of different countries, including the United States, who all gathered and agreed that Antarctica should just be used to preserve the wildlife, to preserve nature, and for scientific research. Okay, so they all, this the picture they'll show you too. If you look it up, it's like a certain part of Antarctica where all these different countries who formed the Council of Foreign Relations, they all put their flag, they planted the flag, had their flags planted there in like a circle, marking off Antarctica. So, and this is what they tell you pretty much about what happened during Operation High Jump. So far as the reason they went to, the reason they said they went to Antarctica to begin with is because they simply wanted to explore to see what was in Antarctica, and then nobody had ever been there. All right, I want y'all to keep the story in mind that they give you ass about Operation High Jump. Of course, we're gonna break it down, and I'm gonna give you the spiritual meaning behind that whole entire, as well as the esoteric meaning behind the whole entire trip, and how it affects the planet and what's going on the planet. But I always like to give you their story first, right? I always like to give you their lies. They key lie pie, I like to call it, because they always lying about some shit. You know, but this story they feed the public. And to this day, they tell you that nothing is going on in Antarctica, and that it's simply being used to preserve nature, to preserve wildlife, and for scientific research. That's what they tell you when you go to look up Antarctica. But the truth is that's an absolute lie. It's a lot going on in Antarctica, and I want to start first with the fact that they'll tell you that they know what's going on planet Venus, which they tell you is supposed to be X amount of light years away. They could tell you what's going on the sun, which let them tell it. The sun is allegedly X of 3 million light years away. They could tell you what's going on the moon. Somehow they flew there, landed there, even planted an American flag there, and the moon is millions of light years away. But they can't tell you what's going on under the ocean, and they can't tell you what's going on in Antarctica, or in deep parts of the Congo where they said they've never been before. This is all bullshit, Cosmic Family. Anytime they want to hide something from you, the first thing they do is they tell you they don't know much about it. The true reason that they went to Antarctica, specifically in Operation High Jump, is because of Admiral Byrd. All right, let's start with him again. Admiral Byrd actually took a trip to to the North Pole. He took a flight to the North Pole. And when he took a flight to the North Pole, he initially reported flying over Antarctica. And he said as he was flying over Antarctica, he saw all this ice, and as he kept flying north, the ice began to change into land. And he said that when he looked down at the land it looked different than the normal land that he see every day in the country, in this world, right? He said that he reported initially that the grass was greener. He reported seeing huge animals that he couldn't name. He reported even seeing a woolly mammoth. And they tell you in science that the woolly mammoths are extinct, which is another lie. They're not extinct at all. They actually live on the other side of the ice wall. Okay, so by Admiral Byrd flying northward, what actually happened was he actually was flying over the first ice wall, because we are surrounded by an ice wall. Okay, and I'll try to have my team that helped me put these videos together pull up a map if they can right now of the ice wall. So I'll pause a second and let's get a second to pull the map up, so you all out there can have a visual of what I'm saying. All right. Okay, so hopefully they have pulled the map up right now for you, or it should be getting pulled up. But if you look at the map, what you will notice is you have multiple maps. The map that we see today is not the true map of how the planet looks. Right? You have to go back to look at the ancient maps. You have to study maps. You have to get into the study of topography, the study of geography, specifically topography, which deals with the landscape, and the structure of the land. If you start getting into that, then you will truly understand how much they lied to us about with these maps and why they lied. A big part of why they lied is because they don't want you to know that there's other tribes, specifically black tribes, that exist beyond these ice walls. And I've talked about this way back in past lectures, like way back in 2020, 2021, but I never expounded strictly on the subject. I'm talking about it now, and I will expound upon it more when I come home and do live lectures. I'll go even deeper into the subject matter, where I'll be able to pull up more maps and expound even more than I can from over this phone. But just bear with me. We're going to walk through it. Okay, so you have an ice wall that surrounds these 7 continents that make up the world. Because when you think of the world, you really think of the 7 continents, right? They tell you that we live on Earth, and Earth is composed of 7 continents, right? Once again, Canada, North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Australia, and Russia, and Asia, right? These are based pretty much the continents. And these continents are surrounded by water. And that's the world. That's Earth, right? Then they tell you that Earth is a spinning ball rotating 1,000 miles per hour on an axis, revolving around the sun, right? This is what they teach us about the planet, about the topography of the planet, about the topography of the cosmos, right? And this is the reason why a lot of people don't know anything about these ice walls, because we are going off maps that were shown to us in school. And you got to understand, in school, they gave us a curriculum. The teacher was forced to teach us a curriculum. And this curriculum was carefully crafted to miseducate and mislead us, not just the Aboriginal beings, the blacks and Latinos, of course, us first initially, because they took everything from us, but also to mislead white people, Caucasians, and not the rich and wealthy ones. I'm talking about the ones that have to pay taxes, the ones that go to work every day. You have 2 different tribes of white individuals, and I'll speak upon that in later lectures, but this is why I say all white folks not bad. A lot of times my content is people hear this is a content, actually, these are divine lectures, so let me take that back. I'm not a content creator. But a lot of times people hear my lectures and they might mistake me to be a racist because I speak so vehemently against white supremacy. But that's just me speaking against anything that's evil. I speak the same way against black on black crime. I speak the same way against anything that's unrighteous. I am a warrior for righteousness. So anything that's unrighteous, I'm going to speak out against it. Whether it's a black person doing it or a white person doing it, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? You do some fuck shit that's not righteous, I'm going to speak out upon that. You are not going to be safe because I have been sent here to destroy Satan, and his kingdom with the word of Almighty God. All right? So you do have two different tribes of Caucasoids, right? One of the tribes was cast out. One of the tribes is part of the tribes that run the whole world today. The tribes that run the world today are the evil ones, the ones that work strictly for Satan, and are aware of what they are doing and are literally being used as his physical instrument to push his satanic agenda on this planet. The other Caucasian tribe, they walk amongst us every day. They are forced to work jobs like us. They are forced to pay taxes like us. They also can end up in jail like us. They also are succumb to STDs and attacks of drugs like us. They also are a part of social engineering like us. But they don't know like we don't know. So what they do is they teach this same overall bullshit story of history to everybody. This is how it makes it so easy for, if you get a person like myself to come along, right, trying to unplug everybody from the Matrix, why you can get so many people, black and white, to come together against me and say, oh, he lying. What he mean is two suns. I don't see two suns. What he mean, black folks invented the pyramids and everything else. That ain't what they taught us in school. Mostly everything that we know about life, we go off what we was taught in school, right? It's very few of us do our own research. Very few of us take the time to go within ourselves to go on a spiritual journey to really find out who we are, let alone who the fuck everybody else is and what's going on the planet. Okay? So I said that to say, this is why a lot of people are not aware of these ice walls that surround these continents. But Operation High Jump was strictly about that. And the reason I'm bringing up the two different white tribes is because Admiral Byrd is a part of the poor white tribe. I'll call them that right now for lecture's sake. The poor whites is anybody. I don't care if they have $1 billion. If you, I've always told y'all this. I make it clear. If you have to work to earn a living, or better yet, if you pay taxes, you would be considered a poor white. The true rich, wealthy white people don't even live on the surface. They live in underground cities, and they do not pay taxes. They do not work because they own everything. Okay? So they go for your Fortune 500 company owners. They will be considered poor whites too. Now, if you think of monetarily, specifically, like, well, how could that person be poor? He has $1 trillion. Well, you have to remember that the dollar isn't worth a damn. They gave the dollar a value. The dollar has no value. It's just paper that's printed up. And George Carlin said it best. It costs the same amount of money to print up the $100 bill that it costs to print up the dollar bill. The only difference is on this one piece of paper, this promissory note, they're writing $100.
You have 1 minute left.
They're writing $100 on it. And on this other promissory note, they're writing $1 on it. But if you look at the Constitution and the amendments clearly tell you that in order to pay off any debt, because the moment you go to shop from a merchant, meaning if you walk in the store and you want to buy a bag of chips, you are a consumer. Once you pick up the chips to buy it, you now are in debt with the merchant. In order to pay that debt, you can only pay that debt with silver or gold. They tell you that in their Constitution. So none of these dollars that they circulate is worth a goddamn at all. That's why Abraham Lincoln was trying to come out with the greenbacks. He was assassinated for that, but that's a whole nother lecture. Stick with me now, Cosmic Family. All right? But the dollar doesn't have a value. What the value is in the natural resources. The value is the natural resources, I repeat.
Thank you for using Securus. Goodbye.
The value, I repeat, is the natural resources. Okay, so why am I focusing on this? Because I want you to know that because a person has $1 trillion doesn't mean that they are actually wealthy. Because if you keep in mind the dollar has no value, the true wealth is the natural resources, the land, the air, the water. And that's what the people who took over the planet, I like to call them the archons, the fallen. That's what they control. All right? And they do have the original 12 colonies, 12 tribes that are working for them. These are the chosen human beings that work strictly for Satan, that the world never sees, They live in underground cities. You'll never see these people. These are the true powers that be, that we are up against. Right? These are the ones running the world. We also like to call them the shadow government, the cabal. Or like Donald Trump says, and a lot of people who, like myself, who they call us conspiracy theorists, we also like to call them the deep state. But the deep state is composed of these original 12 tribes, along with the Pope, the Wicked Witch of the West, who's over all the covens, and a bunch of other powerful people that I've never mentioned, that I will be mentioning in lectures to come. These are the people that put me in prison. These are the people that spread rumors on me with the media. So these people control the media, they control the banks, they control the secret societies, they control the churches, they control the social engineering of society, they control all the information that is given to us. Okay? So, these people understand that the true value is the natural resources. It's not the paper. Okay, so I just say that to say that you have two groups of Caucasians, and it's imperative that you know that. Okay? So that you know that. And even a lot of Caucasians, human beings, they might not even know this because they don't teach what I'm telling you in school. You see what I'm saying? That's what makes it dangerous. They don't even know this. A lot of them might not know this. All right? And what you will notice is the ones that are woke, the Caucasians, the human beings that are woke, the white people that are woke, that are high vibrational, that do have good spirits, they assassinate them, they jail them, and they call them conspiracy theories as well. So that lets you know they don't give a fuck if your ass is a god or a human being. It's about, are you on the side of righteousness or evil? Michael Jackson said it best. All I gotta say is they don't really care about us. All I gotta say is they don't really care about us. When he came with that. And when Mike came with the, it don't matter if you're black or white. That's what he was talking about. Alright. Michael Jackson was very tapped in through his music, and that's why he was assassinated eventually. That's why he was framed and looked at as a pedophile his whole life. Because the messages he was putting out through the music. Alright? But let's stay on track here. Why am I saying all this? Because we're talking about Admiral Byrd, the guy that I told you flew to the North Pole originally. So when he flew to the North Pole, alright, to check out the North Pole, he had a group of people with him. Now, Admiral Byrd is a very well-respected, he was a very well-respected admiral in the Navy. Okay? So, you know that he's not just going to make up no lies. And when him and his team took this flight to the North Pole, they actually was just following the compass. And in following the compass, they kept going north, and they ended up flying over Antarctica and flying over the ice walls. So they saw the shit with their own two eyes. And when they got over the ice wall, they saw these animals they never seen before that they said was extinct, like the woolly mammoth and other big animals that they never seen before. And they even saw animals flying that they couldn't name. They saw rivers and water that they couldn't name. It was crystal clear waters and people that looked like black folks, that looked like giants. They saw all this from their plane. And they became scared because they couldn't believe what they were seeing. So they turned their planes around and eventually ended back up over the ice wall. And when they landed back at the military base, they told them what they saw. It's called a debriefing. They were debriefed by the military, and they told them what they saw when they flew over the wall. And the thing is, Admiral Byrd had a journal that he put out where he journaled all of these things. And he spoke about the things that he saw. And when the journal started circulating, so when he started spreading this, telling everybody everything he saw, he was already doing that before he was fully debriefed. So by the time they debriefed him, that's when they threatened him. You're going to shut the fuck up. You did not see what you thought you saw. And if you continue with this story, we will kill you and your family. And they pretty much bullied Admiral Byrd into changing his story. To hear his original story of what happened when he took Admiral Byrd was being debriefed. And he was scared of the things that he had saw. So, of course, he started to spread his information to people around the planet, and it began to circulate. And as it began to circulate, a lot of people was hearing his story, so they became fearful themselves. So this is the true reason why they created Operation Hot Jump, because they wanted to create a cover story. The cover story was being created to stop people from hearing the truth. So what they did was they sent 1,000 people out in Operation Hot Jump to go explore Antarctica. And the whole purpose of exploring Antarctica was to make people believe that it was nothing out there. So, they recruited like 1,000 different men and sent them to Antarctica. And when they sent them out there, within one period, a lot of people started to die. But what you must understand is Admiral Byrd and them were regular, or what you call the poor whites. You have two types of human beings. You have the poor whites and you have the rich whites, okay? So the poor whites are those who, like I always told you, those who pay taxes. In any form, shape, or manner would be considered the poor whites, all right? Because you have two different types of tribes, and I'll expand upon that in later lectures. But then you have the wealthy Caucasians. These are the ones that control the world. These are the ones that pushes Satan's agenda. These are the ones that we do not see. These are the ones that we do not see. That we do not see. These are the ones that we do not see at all. Okay? These are the ones that are living in underground cities. These are the ones that make up what we call the shadow government. The shadow government are the ones that control regular government. They control the government. They select the presidents. They control the banking families. They control the secret societies. They also call these people the cabal or the deep state, as Donald Trump and people that's like they say, what they third eye open says. Okay, so you have two different types of human beings. Okay, so most people believe that because of when I say poor, you think about somebody that's a bum, but no, I mean, even if you have $1 trillion, you are still poor. All right, because money is just a promissory note. It costs the same amount of money to print up the $100 bill, and George Carlin said this, the great comedian, who was also a human being. It costs the same amount of money to print up the $100 bill as it costs to print up the dollar bill. Okay, so even if you have $1 trillion, you still would be considered a poor white person or a poor black person based upon if you are not a part of these 12 original tribes. Okay, so individual like Admiral Byrd would be considered part of the poor whites, right? Because he's not a part of the 12 tribes that is running the world that we don't see. All right. Okay, so I'm saying that to say that the people that would be considered the sheer shadow government, they already know what's going on in Antarctica. They have underground bases in Antarctica. However, when Admiral Byrd flew north, he was not supposed to see the extra land. So now they had to come up with this cover story. All right? And that's why they sent Admiral Byrd and a team of 1,000 men to Antarctica in what was known as Operation High Jump. However, what's also unbeknownst to the public, when they went back, when they got to Antarctica to do Operation High Jump, people start dying. But they don't tell the public that people was dying because you still have ancient tribes over there. These tribes are ancient Atlantean gods. So these are black and brown individuals, and they're giants. Remember, this was our original size. You have to understand that the 7 continents that make up what we call Earth is more land than that. And they lied to us about how the maps look in our school curriculum because they didn't want people to know the truth about the topography of the landscape of the planet. Okay? So, this is why a lot of us don't know about these ice walls. And this is why when the people went with Admiral Byrd on Operation High Jump, they've been lied to in school. They took the same curriculum that they feed to everybody. Right? So when they get over there, the whole time these tribes start attacking them, and this is why people was dying, and they basically ran them out of Antarctica. And it's crazy because the shadow government knew this, yet they still sacrificed their own people. Because they already have bases in Antarctica, so they know that there's tribes over there, over there on the other side of the land, ancient tribes, that they are at war with because they are trying to get that extra land. See, the only land that they control when they invaded our planet is these continents. When they set up these ice walls, they do not control the land on the other side of the ice wall, right? And you have to understand something. How did the ice wall get there? Well, when they came to our planet, all right, Zeus and the Fallen, all right, the human beings and these evil extraterrestrial races, they came here using Sub-Zero technology, and it works the same way that you see subs like Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat and Mr. Freeze from Batman. Remember how Sub-Zero can throw the freeze ball at you and freeze you on Mortal Kombat? Or how Mr. Freeze froze Gotham City in Batman? Well, they get that from the actual Sub-Zero technology that they have and they possess. So, this is where it comes from. All right? So this is why they even call it Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat, right? Because it's something that's known as Sub-Zero technology that these beings brought to our planet. And instead of the weaponry, like imagine huge Gatling guns, but instead of them shooting bullets, they shooting ice. And they would shoot this ice at our ancestors. So our ancestors were giants. And all their bodies piled up one on top of another. And this is what created the ice wall. This is why it's so tall and so high. All right? So this is also why we have a cold front on the planet. Because the planet was naturally warm. However, you got a huge block of ice sitting in the water. Right? So this is why the water is cold. I mean, if you take ice and put it in a cup of water, what's going to happen to the water? It's going to become what? It's going to become cold. Right? Of course. It's going to become cold. So the reason it becomes cold is because of the ice that you're putting in the water. All right? The same way as if you were to sit inside your house and have a block of ice in the house, the whole house will become cold. Well, the water becomes cold because of the ice, the few ice blocks. And this is also why the Pacific Ocean is cold, the Atlantic Ocean is cold, but when you go to the Caribbean, it's warm. The water is warm because the Caribbean Ocean, if you pay attention, the Caribbean is in the middle of the realm, while the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean is water that encircles the landmass and it rubs against the ice wall. So this is why the water is cold. Naturally, the water used to be warm anciently on this planet. Get what I'm saying? So this is also where your cool breeze come from. Because remember the four phases of matter: solids, liquids, gases, plasma, energy. Well, air is a part of the gas plane, right? So the air waves is a high vibratory phase of water waves. And air works just like water. Just like the boats. Boats can carry water on the waves, where air can carry thoughts on the airwaves, as well as the coolness from the ice walls. So the wind or the air brushes up against the ice walls and carries this back to the countries that we live on. And this is where you get your cool breeze from in the air, because the air was naturally warm. The only places no one noticed, the warmest place on the planet right now is in the middle of the planet. That's when you're dealing with continents like Africa or the Caribbean. Right? So this is where this has come from, because of these ice walls. And you don't have one ice wall, you have multiple ice walls. Alright? So, you got us in the middle, and then you got the ice wall. And then on the other side of the ice wall, you got another group of us, which are Atlanteans, and then you got another ice wall. And then on the other side of that, you have another group of Atlanteans, and then another ice wall. So think of the bull's eye, and I'll have my team put the bull's eye logo up. The bull's eye logo literally is an example of not only the all-seeing eye, it's symbolic of the all-seeing eye, but it's also symbolic of how they have used in the Sub-Zero technology to set up ice blockades to section us off from the rest of our family, right? The thing about these ice walls is you can go through each ice wall. There's creases in between each ice wall that allows you to get to the other land. And it just so happened that Admiral Byrd, he flew over the ice wall. So this was the purpose of Operation High Jump, right? And the thing is that shadow government, they try to keep the public from going to Antarctica because you would see these ice walls. And they don't want you to understand that you are on a realm, not some ball of water floating 1,000 miles up. Because they teach you that the Earth is a ball of water that's spinning 1,000 miles per hour on its axis. You get what I'm saying? And that's not what's going on. So, they lie to you about the topography of the cosmos and the topography, which is the landscape, if you study topography and geography of how the planet looks, because that keeps you unaware of what's going on. Then it will have to tell you how everything was ancient. But yes, you have other tribes on the other side of these ice walls. So the whole reason of Operation High Jump and Synopsis was just strictly to come up with a cover story so they can let the public know, well, there's nothing in Antarctica. Because when they did Operation High Jump, they sent photographers out there with the photographer's sole job was to make sure they take pictures of nothing but open ice. And these images were to be shown to the public so that when they say, hey, we went and did Operation High Jump and it was nothing out there but open ice. And these are the pictures. But and if you know anything about Antarctica, just in the little research they will let you know, it's mountain ranges in Antarctica. And it's rivers in Antarctica. And lakes. And we know that mountains is tree stumps. So what does that tell you? If Antarctica is the largest landmass and it has all these mountain ranges, which are ancient tree stumps, that lets you know what's going on. Because this realm is Atlantis, and it has been sectioned off by these ice walls. But these ice walls is literally the body of our ancestors that was frozen to death. This is also where the icebergs come from that flow through the water. The icebergs is literally frozen limbs, elbows, kneecaps, shoulder blades, because we were giants. You get what I'm saying? We were giants, cosmic family. So Operation High Jump was just another cover story that they put out there to stop people from knowing the truth about the realm and the planet. And they silenced Admiral Byrd. You know, his original journal is hard to find, right? And he was told never to say nothing about what he saw again, him and the rest of his crew. And then the people that did participate in Operation High Jump, it was 1,000 men. Hundreds of people got killed. Only like 300 people came back. And none of them was able to speak about what they saw. They put out another story saying that, hey, people died because of the cold weather. And that's not the truth. All right? And as far as the shadow government, they have actual bases under the ice, and they meet under the ice once every 3 years. And they have huge underground cities under the ice in Antarctica where they meet and hold important meetings. Right? So, this planet is Atlantis. Right? This planet is composed of 9 realms, with Atlantis being one of them. And this is why they lie about the maps, because they don't want you to know this truth. All the land is connected, and we are surrounded by one huge ice wall. And this is why that ice wall got there, because of this war that took place. And on the other side of the ice wall, you have more of our Atlantean tribes. And they are aware of us, yet we are not aware of them. And when they try to get to us, they are cut off because the shadow government and extraterrestrial races, such as the Afro-Draconian, Reptilians, and Pleiadians, are at war with them. Right? Keeping them from getting to us. And then on our end, they have it set up where you can't even come to Antarctica. And if you do, they're going to take you to a certain section and show you a couple ice mountain ranges, and that's it. But there are passageways through the ice that leads to the land. Those are all covered and blocked off by military personnel. Right? You need a special permit just to fly over Antarctica. Right? And they definitely not going to let you fly over Antarctica on your own, or they're going to shoot the motherfucking plane down. So, Operation High Jump is just one of the many cover stories they like to put out about places on our land, on the planet, to keep you blind to the planet you live within. You wouldn't even have a cold front if it wasn't for that ice that surrounds you. The water wouldn't even be cold if it wasn't for the ice blocks, the ice wall that surrounds us. This is where they use that same ice to create their winter-making technology too. This is where the ice crystals come from that they put in the clouds, right? And from these ice crystals in the cloud, this is where you get your snow from, your freezing weather from, your cool breeze from when the wind blows. Because all this ice. The ice stand almost 500 feet above the water. And this is why they've been telling you, oh, the ice is melting and things like that, global warming, because they are afraid. And if you go research the glaciers melting, they're going to tell you that the glaciers are composed of carbon, and we know who is composed of carbon. Human beings do not have carbon. They have melanin. They lack carbon. If they had carbon, they would be able to take the sunlight and channel the energy of the sun. They don't. They have melanin. This is why the sun destroys them. But a lot of human beings have been lied to as well, because they are not part of the original 12 tribes that are pushing Satan's agenda. So they are also kept out the loop. And in government, you have different levels of security. You have security clearance 1 through 33, and above that you have top secret security clearance 1 through 33, and then above that you have ATS, above top secret 1 through 33, with that level 33 being the highest. A lot of the information that I revealed to you guys will be considered above top secret level 33. But with that being said, I love you deeply. Peace to the guys and guys of the planet Kai. This has been another deep download. A quick synopsis, a quick download about Operation High Jump, the ice walls in Antarctica, what Antarctica really is, how the ice walls got there, what exists on the other side of the ice walls, and why they do not tell you about the ice walls. They do not want you to connect back to our ancient tribes that exist on the other side of the ice walls. I love you deep. Allegiance.com. And divine love and perfect peace. 1.